All right, here's the story of Pesach, of Passover. Pesach is in 2 weeks. And so Morah Devorah is going to tell you all the story. Okay? Many, many years ago, the Jews lived in Israel, in Eretz Yisrael, and there was not enough food to eat. There was a famine. So they had to travel to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, because there was a lot of food in Mitzrayim. It was very good for the Jewish people in Mitzrayim. There was a lot of food in Mitzrayim. One day, a king stood up and said, I am the new king of Mitzrayim. I am Paro, and I say that the Jews from now on are going to be my slaves. Kanalaf, do you know what slaves are? Slaves are people that have to work really hard for their masters. They don't get paid. They get treated really badly. Their masters, their owners hurt them. And now the Jewish people were slaves to the Egyptians, to Paro. The Jewish people had to carry very heavy loads and carry big bricks on their shoulders. Their backs were aching and hurting. And King Paro was really, really mean to the Jewish people. King Paro also said something else that was really not nice. He said, from now on, I don't let there be any more Jewish baby boys born in Mitzrayim. He said any family that is going to decide to keep their baby boys is going to get in big trouble. Oh, what a bad choice he made. In Mitzrayim, there was a really special good family. Their last name was Levi. The daddy's name was Amram. The mommy's name was Yocheved. The sister's name was Miriam, and the brother's name was Aharon. One day, it was around springtime, and the Levi family had a new baby boy, Mazel Tov! And they said, we're not going to listen to King Paro. We're not going to get rid of our baby boy. No way! Hashem wants us to have Jewish baby boys and girls in the world. We are going to keep the baby. So Mommy Yocheved said, shh, quiet. Don't cry, baby, or else the Mitzrim, the soldiers, will hear you. Shh. She put him in a little basket. She cuddled him up with a blanket, put his pacifier in the basket with the baby. Shh. She walked to the Nile River. That was the river in Mitzrayim. And she put the baby basket with little baby inside and put it in the water and watched to make sure that the baby was doing okay and he was safe. One day, the princess of Mitzrayim, her name was Batya, she was taking a swim in the Nile River with all of her helpers. Suddenly, she hears a cry. Wah, wah. What's that cry? She looks around and she sees a basket with the cry coming from the basket. She stretches her arm out, pulls the basket towards her, opens up the basket, and there's a beautiful baby boy crying. She said, oh, I'm not going to let this baby be in the river. I'm going to take care of the baby, and I'm going to bring him to the palace and make sure he has everything he needs. Wow, what a tzaddikus, what a good person Batya was. So then Moshe grew up in Paro's palace, because Batya was Paro's daughter. But she was not like her father, who was mean and made bad choices. She made good choices. And so he grew up in the palace, and Moshe used to walk around Paro's palace. And one day he was looking out the window, and he saw the Jewish people carrying heavy loads, the slaves, the Jewish slaves, and they were crying. And Moshe said, this is not good. Moshe knew that Paro and the Mitzrim were bad to the slaves. Moshe did not want it to be bad for the Jewish people anymore. You need to go put on your socks, it's freezing. Moshe went from Mitzrayim to the desert, and Moshe started to walk up the mountain, and suddenly he saw a big fire. Moshe went towards the fire, and then suddenly he heard a voice coming from the fire. The voice said, Moshe, I am Hashem, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and of all of the Jewish nation. I heard the Jewish nation crying. I heard them crying because they're working so hard. Moshe, go, take them out of Mitzrayim. We are not going to allow the Jews to be slaves anymore. Moshe went to Mitzrayim and he told the Jewish nation that Hashem heard you crying and Hashem heard you davening, and Hashem said, I should come and take you out of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt. Moshe and his brother Aaron went to King Paro, and they told King Paro that Hashem told him he has to let the Jewish people go out of Mitzrayim and that they shouldn't be slaves anymore. You know what Paro did? He was so mean. He started laughing an evil laugh. Ha 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 ha! I am not going to listen to Hashem. The Jews are going to stay here and be my slaves. Hashem got so angry at Paro because Paro didn't listen to God. And so Hashem gave Paro and the Mitzrim 10 punishments, 10 consequences that they should change their mind and listen to Hashem. But Paro just kept saying, no, 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 I will not let them go. No, 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 I will not let them go. My son is singing inside the same song. And so finally, there was a really big punishment, and the Mitzrim, the bad people, started to die. And so Paro got really scared suddenly, so he quickly ran to Moshe in the middle of the night. He was even wearing his pajamas. Paro in pajamas in the middle of the night. Paro in pajamas in the middle of the night. Paro in pajamas in the middle of the night. Ay, 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 ay. He ran over to Moshe and he said, take your Jews and leave before Hashem punishes me even more. Take them quickly, rush out of Egypt, take quickly, quickly, quickly. So Moshe went and woke up all the Jewish people and they had to rush out of Mitzrayim before Paro changed his mind. And they needed food for the way, so they quickly mixed some flour and water and quickly mixed it, and they wanted to let it bake. It was so hot in Mitzrayim. The sun was so strong and it baked into like a little flat cracker called a matzah. That's why we eat matzah now every single Pesach. That's what the Jewish people made when they were leaving Mitzrayim. And the Jewish people hurried, the mommies and the daddies and the brothers and the sisters and the grandparents and the families left Mitzrayim really, really quickly. Well, what do you know? The next morning, Paro woke up and he said, who's going to be my slaves? Oh no, I let the Jewish people go. Who's going to build all my pyramids and schlep all my bricks and everything? Oh my gosh, I'm going to go chase the Jewish people and bring them back. I changed my mind. Paro was making a bad choice again. So he went on his horses with all his soldiers and he started chasing the Jewish people. The Jewish people were right by the big Red Sea, by the big water. And they couldn't run away from Paro because Paro was behind them. They couldn't run away because the sea was in front of them. What should they do? Hashem said, don't worry, Moshe. I'm going to make a miracle for the Jewish nation. Pick up your stick, Moshe. And Moshe picked up his stick, and what do you know? The water split in half. Kriyas Yamsuf. The Red Sea split in half, and the Jewish people were able to walk right through it without even getting wet. What a miracle Hashem made for the Jewish people. The Jewish people walked right through it. When Paro and his people tried to walk through it, do you think that it split in half? No way. It closed up. Hashem did not make a miracle for the evil people. And the Jewish people went through the water, and they sang, and they were singing songs, and they danced, and they celebrated, and they thanked Hashem for all the miracles that Hashem did, b'yad chazaka, with a strong hand, for the Jewish people. And from then on, boys and girls, we celebrate Passover, Pesach, every single year during springtime. We eat matzah, we have 4 cups of grape juice, we have the Seder meal, which we're going to learn about in our next class. And we celebrate the holiday of freedom, because this is the holiday when Hashem did the most miraculous thing for the Jewish nation and took them out of Mitzrayim and split the sea for us. Happy Pesach!